Well, there's really not a lot to dissect with this one because it was pretty much your stereotypical Rangers with the Igor Shesterkin, or in the Igor Shesterkin era, I should say, win. But what is going on, guys? Hello. Welcome back to another postgame here on Rangers Central. And the Rangers win 4-1 over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Before we jump into everything, please be sure to leave a like on your way into the show. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. Wow. Okay. Stereotypical Rangers win. Igor Shesterkin stood on his damn head. They got 2 points and ran the hell out of Toronto with the 2 points because holy crap, was that ugly at points. Holy crap, did I lose my mind at points. And I genuinely felt that that game was going to overtime. When it got down to the wire, when it got down after Austin Matthews netted that goal, I'm like, there's just no shot in hell the Rangers are escaping this one without it at least going to overtime. There was just no way in my mind that was happening. And thankfully it didn't. Thankfully it didn't. Thankfully they got the 2 points. And thankfully they won the game. But, I mean, man, I don't know what the hell happened, especially in that third period with the defensive zone coverage. But, man, that was ugly. Now, it's not all bad. It's not all bad because there were things that were good to take away from this game. For starters, when you do look at the way things went offensively today, you see that Alexis Lafreniere continues his point streak. You see that Artemi Panarin continues his point streak, even though it was an empty net goal. Continues that. Chris Kreider, he's off to a really good start. Now, I will say that right now that you guys know that I've been very critical of Chris Kreider a lot. I love what he has gave so far to start the season. The one thing that I do have to say, though, off the rip, to get back on track to the disgustingness of parts of this game, what the hell was Chad Ruhwedel doing in the lineup tonight? I have no clue why they bothered. You have a young defenseman in Zach Jones who clearly deserves to be playing every single night. Why is it that he's not in the lineup? Why is he not in the lineup? Zach Jones needs to be back in there next game. It's not even a question. I don't know if they're trying to keep Jones from getting overworked or anything like that. I don't know if it has to do with that or what, but he needed to be in the lineup tonight. And the other question I have is, what are we doing with Matt Rempe? It's not like Rempe was awful tonight. Like, he wasn't great. His skating is just still not great, but I don't know what he's still doing in the lineup, which, again, it's not like that was my my biggest complaint of the night, but I don't know what he's doing because there was still good with the fourth line. I thought Adam Edstrom continued to look good. I thought Sam Carrick continued to look good, which Sam Carrick has been a pleasant surprise for me thus far, considering you guys know how much I hated that signing. But this is something that I will say, though, that is starting to become a worry as we're 5 games in, because I think 5 games, we could start to at least see what are going to be patterns. And there's 2 patterns that are bothering me early on. The first pattern is this team has been starting off games slow way too much. I mean, yet again, the first 5 to 10 minutes, sloppy. Just way too much slop early on with the puck movement. Way too much slop early on in the defensive zone. Way too much slop in the neutral zone early on. And the other thing that I do have to say, which wasn't exactly glorified too much tonight, but I still do worry about this team being a little bit too top heavy with their scoring in terms of that Trocheck line being the ones to score. But holy crap, defensively, when they put that Matthews, Nyes, Marner line against those 3 tonight, Trocheck, Panarin, Lafreniere, nightmare. They were getting hemmed in their own end way too much. And honestly, the defensive play was really more so on the forwards tonight than anything, because yeah, there were a couple times that Keandre Miller's letting William Nylander behind him. Yeah, there's a couple times Adam Fox is getting beat along the boards by Austin Matthews, who just goes around, brings it to the front of the net, and undresses Adam Fox to score a goal. There was that side of it. There was the side where Victor Mancini is running out of position, Chad Ruedel running out of position, Jacob Trouba with miscues on the breakout, Braden Schneider going out of position at times. At times, all of them puck watching, waving their sticks like Harry Potter wands. But besides that, a lot of it was mostly the forwards tonight not contributing at all on the back check. I mean, there were countless times where I'm watching Artemi Panarin just leaving his guy open. Alexi Lafreniere, love what he's doing offensively, love the start he's having, but man, in the defensive zone, he looks lost. And that was the story, I mean, all night long. Lost in the defensive zone. And it came down to the fact that Igor stole you these 2 points, and it's nights like tonight where the crowd that wants Igor to be paid $12 million, that's a night that backs up the argument. The only problem I have is that over the course of a 7-game series, you're not going to beat this team playing like that more times than not. But obviously, this isn't a 7-game series, so I don't. I'm just saying that obviously it's not, so it doesn't matter as much, but I'm just saying that, it was not great at all in terms of that. The one thing I did like, though, or one of the things I did like was how I like how many odd man rushes they're generating this season. I will say that. I love how many more odd man rushes I'm seeing them generate in these games, because tonight they generated a few. There were even some shorthanded rushes. Like, you have Will Cooley, by the way, which Will Cooley, he has been really good. Again, I continue to say it. He's been really good. I just hope that this doesn't stop from him like it did last year. But Will Cooley was, again, great tonight. And he was leading a couple rushes, whether it was shorthanded, and then Keandre Miller missing the net there. You had that second line, which, again, for how piss poor they were defensively, they were getting some rush opportunities, and they ended up scoring, of course, the first goal of the game, because it took them forever, but they finally had a good forecheck going. Panarin goes low to high, and then Mancini ends up, they keep moving the puck. Mancini puts it on goal, and then the rebound's loose for Lafreniere, who gets to the puck, winning a loose puck battle, and then scores a goal. And I thought after they scored that goal, they looked good in the first period. I thought that they were generating more of the chances. I thought they looked good in their own end. And yeah, I mean, right after they almost scored, because Phil Pedal had that great move in the neutral zone, filthy, and I thought he was going to take it to the net and score. Draws a penalty, and you think maybe they'd score again, but unfortunately you have Kreider deflecting one, hitting a post there. But they look good the rest of that first period. Second period, same sort of pattern where, again, they look sloppy out of the gate, and they were allowing a lot of good looks to the Leafs. I mean, William Nylander, again, had a rush. Trouba gets beat on a play, and then Schneider has to break up a pass. But, again, just long shifts where they're getting hemmed in their own end. That second line just was brutal in the defensive zone. But then things continued to improve yet again, because they got that goal again, a delayed call there on Holmberg, who got a penalty earlier, and beautiful passing by that first line. Panarin was out there too. Beautiful passing, Mika, tape to Chris Kreider to bury that one. Beautiful. That made it 2-0. And again, they continued to press that period. Like, that's what was great is outside of the Panarin penalty, which sucked, and it gave the Leafs a little bit of an opportunity to answer the bell there, but I thought they were fine the rest of the way. In the third period, there was quite literally nothing positive to take away from that period. I mean, you have John Tavares going wide open in the slot, getting opportunities that Igor has to glove. You have Austin Matthews just taking every single player that he sees for a dog walk, ripping backhanders that Igor has to make competitive saves on. Marner getting open at the back door. Nyes getting opportunities at the doorstep. It was just ugly, that third period. It was ugly. They allowed 7 high danger chances at 5v5 that period. That was gross. And then 9 total. It sucks because defensively, I didn't think they were that great most of the game in general, but at least they were getting the looks offensively and matching the intensity of what the Leafs were providing, where they were getting some quality looks of their own. But once we got to the third period, it was just all Leafs. It was just all of them all over the place. And then you had the two empty netters after Matthews scored that goal, which, I mean, he always scores against the Rangers. It felt like that was a layup, which I didn't put that in one of my bets. But if anyone did tail my bet, shout out to you if you're following me on Twitter and you're tailing them, because we went 3 for 3 today. Went 3 for 3. We had 2 parlays on this game, and we had a anytime goal scorer on Kucherov. Enough of the gambling talk there, because I'm sure someone's going to get upset by that. But I digress. Where was I going with that? But yeah, Matthews, it was a lock for him to score. He always does. And you had the empty netters from Kreider. You had the empty netters from Panarin to wrap this game up. But yeah, it just felt like one of those games where, I'm not going to lie to you, I really felt like the Maple Leafs were going to tie this one, and we were headed for overtime here, and God willingly lose, which would have been really infuriating with the way that Igor performed in this game. But they get the job done. They get the job done, and they get the 2 points. But they got to sharpen up in the start of these games. I can tell you that right now, because the first 5-10 minutes of the game, they cannot keep starting this slow. And again, some of the patterns from last year are trickling in, which I don't love. It's October, so I'm going to give it time for it to change, but I don't love it. I can tell you that. It doesn't make it any less infuriating. That's for damn sure. But yeah, that's really all my main points are. I'm trying to think. I'll look through my notes quickly to see if I had anything else that was a talking point worthy here. I mean, I don't think there really is. Yeah, I don't think there's really anything else noteworthy outside of the fact that I thought that Victor Mancini again had a solid game outside of like one play in the third period where he was chasing someone out of possession. I thought he was again solid, all things considered, and that's encouraging to see from a rookie, obviously. And then outside of that, I don't know if I have much else to take away here. Trouba and Schneider, you know, they looked, honestly, as much as I was not happy with the Trouba penalty in the third, and that's where I thought this game was going to get tied up, as much as I didn't like a couple of the plays he made in this game, I think that him and Schneider got the unfortunate, got a bad look because of the fact that there were times they were hemmed in the D zone with the second line, which just looked brutal. I thought the third line, again, continues to be the most consistent line in terms of like two-way play. I thought they were solid for the most part, but it's pretty much just more the same, honestly. Pretty much more the same, and whether that's good or bad, you could be the judge of that, of course, but that's just my assessment there, which that second line, I mean, 8 high danger chances against, gross. And I know we talk about how good they are offensively, but man, gross. And I guess the last talking point I have before I get to the chat is Johnny Brodzinski's got to be out there again next game. And that fourth line, again, it wasn't Rempe's fault. I don't know, but I thought Carrick was fine, and I thought Edstrom was fine. So who does that leave? Who does that leave in the equation there? But yeah, I'm just worried mostly about the fact that, again, it's October, it's 5 games in, but I don't know what is going on with the up and down play with Zibanejad, and I don't know what's going on with the up and down play with Trocheck early on. Trocheck, that's what's a little bit infuriating, because he's someone that is way better than he's showing defensively. Like, what he's providing in these games defensively is not who Trocheck is, and that's why I'm getting on him right now, and that's why I'm aggravated with it. This is not who he is. We have seen him now for a good amount of time to know that he is way better in his own end than he is showing right now. So I don't know what's going on with that, but that's got to improve as well. That has to. Otherwise, this team is going to this team is going to have issues, and that goes without being said going forward. But again, they grabbed the 2 points. It happens. Igor stole a game. It happens. I mean, we should be accustomed to this by now, but sometimes it still drives me up the walls. I mean, they allowed 21 high danger chances tonight. Ugh. But get in the film room and turn the page. That's all I could say about that. But yeah, let me get to the chat. Like I said, if you haven't left a like already, please do that. Turn on your notifications too if you have not already. But let me get to the chat and see what you guys are saying. Amazing game from Igor and outside of the very beginning and get good game the rest of the team too. Defense looked especially awake tonight. If you mean like the defensemen themselves, I thought they were okay. I thought as a unit they were not good defensively, like in terms of the forwards not helping there, but typical Rangers win. Shesty making a real strong case for that money. But this is also, again, back to the point where, is this sustainable over the course of a 7-game series? Obviously, this is not a 7-game series right now with the Leafs, but that's besides the point. We are witnessing something special with Laff and Panarin playing together. That I do agree with, and that's something that we could take away as a very big positive, is those two have looked very, very good thus far to kick off the season. And hey, I said last year, I'm getting those Kane Panarin vibes with those two, and right now, it's looking great. Igor out, prove he's worth the coins. Once again, the Rangers started showing no mercy in the third period. 2 empty netters is crazy. Kreider doesn't age at all. Vintage Rangers win stolen by Igor tonight. Yeah, pretty much. Defensive breakdown. Shesty showing his worth. Yeah, I think that's going to be the common theme in the chat with what you guys are saying. Win for the boys a lot. I didn't like, though. Yeah, pretty much how I am, Christopher. You're happy they get the 2, but oh, it was rough. It was rough at times. I mean, there's no way around that one. Kreider's on fire. Laffy looked great, and Brett is cooking. I agree with those assessments, though. Chris Kreider's been off to a very good start so far. Mancini and Press yet again, so patient in the D zone. Foxy to build some strength, so weak. Miller getting physical, so love that. Yeah, Miller had a couple plays where he was getting physical, which I liked, but he was getting beat a couple times by Nylander, which did suck, but yeah. He's had a weird start to the year, because it's the same thing that I've talked about with Miller time and time again, where there are times he looks like he is worthy of being on the top pair, and then there are times he looks just complete and utterly disastrous. But that's just the Keandre Miller experience right now, I guess you should say. It's only 5 games and 4 for Igor. I can't really assess all that. Specify a little. Rangers defense is Rangers defense, but they did a lot more tonight to downgrade a lot of those high-risk shots to routine saves for Igor. Yes and no. The first 2 periods, I could maybe get behind that, but the third period was very, very sloppy. I mean, they were outright horrible. Riley Smith has filled a big void quietly. Yeah, Riley Smith has been solid. And I get that Matthews scores a lot in this league, but he's also been off to a slow start. And I just feel like every single time the Rangers play the Leafs, he has a big game. It is every single time. And I get that he's one of the best players in the league and top 5 in the league. There's no taking that away from him. But it's every time they play this freaking team that, like, you would think at least one time they would be able to shut him down. It's every time that he just looks so dominant and he's the best player for their team. Why are the Rangers play man-on-man system? It's clearly not working. And that's what I don't get either, because what did I talk about in the last post game? I was loving the fact that they were doing a good job at collapsing by their own net and protecting the house and doing all that stuff. And it was working. Like, that's how they were able to neutralize Detroit more. I don't understand why it seems like the strategy changes from game to game at times. And you're right, they shouldn't be doing this man-on-man defense, especially when you have guys on your defense, like the personnel in particular, with guys like Trouba especially, who don't have the best foot speed. Again, I'm not taking a shot at Trouba for tonight entirely. I want to make that clear, but I'm just saying in general that like, I'm just saying for the man-on-man defense, it's, I don't know, it's not ideal. It's really not. But let me see what you guys are saying. Love Mancini's game, even if he makes some poor reads or misses an assignment here or there. He's overall steady and doesn't look at the puck as a hot potato. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he is so composed with the puck, which I love. That's my favorite thing about him. Love that line, but they force a lot of passes. They force a lot, and it forces them to have to defend. The transition game, they really got killed in the transition game at points, which, yes and no, obviously, because the Rangers had a lot of rushes in their own right, but you get what I mean. Like, the defensive transition game wasn't strong at points. I know. Thoughts on Carrick? I thought he was solid tonight. Is Trocheck just having a rough start? I expected a bit of a step back of what he did last year, but he needs to definitely be a little bit better in his own end. But that goes for that entire line. I mean, I think he just gets more under the magnifying glass because it's Lafayette Panarin right now producing a lot offensively, and it's more of the center's responsibility to be the first guy out of the forwards on the back check to help out. So I think it magnifies him more. But yeah, in general, that line needs to be better in their own end. I got the hat from We Bleed Blue. I agree with this, that Mika slowed down as the game progressed. I agree with that. Almost broke down in the third there. Yeah. Yeah, Carrick has actually been better than I thought he would be so far. But it's 5 games in, so let's see. And yeah, Miller definitely has a lot of miscues with the puck, and it's infuriating. Trap game in Montreal could be. We'll see. Let's see. Got close, then it became an ass whooping at the last minute. I'm not sure if you're talking about the game. I mean, the third period in general was not great at all. You were trying to learn that contract tonight. Or trying to get that contract tonight, yeah. Rags win and you're still crying. Then don't watch the show. Don't watch it. I mean, if you've been sub for a while and you're still like surprised that I'm critiquing them when they win, then I don't know what you're still doing here. If you don't like it, then don't listen. It's that simple. It's free content. Nobody's forcing you to watch it. That's the reality of it. I don't care. I'll give my honest opinions. Laugh and Bread elevate each other's games. Both had career years. playing together for the first time. Yeah, and there's clearly chemistry there. And Lafreniere, it's insane what he's doing right now, offensively, of course, without power play time. It's crazy. I wish that he would get more of an extensive look on the power play, and he would get the first unit minutes, especially with the way that Mika just kind of looks like a black hole on the power play. I wish that Laf would get that opportunity, but Laf and Igor have been doing a lot so far to justify their contracts. Igor, outside the Utah game, yeah, but Lafreniere for sure. Yeah. Lafreniere, I mean, he's been involved in every single game. Yeah, they sat back too much. Reminded you of the Easter Conference where they couldn't get it cleared and the Leafs just had possession. That's a perfect way of putting it. Yeah, that's what it felt like, yeah. I mean, they couldn't move the puck up the ice to save their life in the third period. No goals for Igor, yeah. Unfortunately, no empty net goals for him. Kreider contract has aged well. We can only hope the next few Ranger contracts hand out work well too. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I know that I've been critical of Kreider at times because I do think there are times that he just, I'd like to see a little bit more of an effort from him. But listen, as much as I ridicule him at times, you got to give him credit for one thing, and that is he shows up in the playoffs all the time, and he shows he has some big moments in games. And I thought consistently, though, I think this has been the most consistent stretch of games from Kreider. These first 5 games, he has been involved in every single game, and that's what I want to see from him more often. He has been very consistent, and I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. Oh, you're a Devils fan. All right, that makes sense. People on the internet, man. It makes more sense, though, now. You're a Devils fan. Mancini's Trouba's replacement for next season, / trade deadline. I don't think Trouba's getting moved at the deadline unless they do a phantom LTIR to help get more assets, which Trouba, if you want to be a true captain, listen, man, I would apologize to you if you did a solid and did that, but yeah, Mancini's definitely going to, if he doesn't play full-time this year, next year for sure. Says Mika needs to cut his hair. Yeah, a lot of people have said that. Maybe has the Panarin effect on him. Yeah, the empty netters open up the game a lot. Do I think Lindgren gets traded at the deadline? I don't know, but I could tell you what my preference would be, and that would be, yeah, he should. Because right now, look at what they're doing without Ryan Lindgren. I know that I'm critiquing heavily how they played defensively tonight, but I still feel that Ryan Lindgren isn't going to solve any of the issues. I think, if anything, it's going to amplify the issues because the guy is as slow as molasses, and he also is just, I don't know. He looked brutal last year, and I just don't think he fits in Laviolette's system. And that's something that I want to see the Rangers do as their deadline approach more this year in general, is like get guys that fit the system, because they that's why I don't get why Lindgren even got extended. Like, it was clear that he does not work under what Laviolette's trying to do with this defense. What are my thoughts on the Jones scratching? I mentioned it before. I don't love that they scratched Jones. I think that it's a bit ridiculous. Like, why are we scratching one of our best puck moving defensemen against a explosive team like Toronto? I didn't get that decision, but Devils fan in the chat, it's a new one. It's, yeah, people on the internet will do what they want. I don't give a shit. I don't. I've had some of the most vile shit said to me. I could care less about Devil fans being in the chat, man. I just don't care. I agree with this, that and this is, that last sentence is the truth. Teams with speed is what kills the Rangers. It's what kills them. I agree with that 100%. I don't know. I don't know if I could agree with that. If they limited them to like 5 high danger chances, 6, maybe I could say that, but I don't know. They allowed 9 high danger chances that third period. That's just not acceptable. This I could agree with. I also think that Lindgren, if they move him at the deadline, it should be like a hockey trade. If they're not getting draft capital, I think it should be one of those things where they should trade him to, like, the trade comparable that I keep mentioning is the Matthias Ekholm trade, where they traded Barry and a pick to get Ekholm. If they could find that sort of trade with Lindgren and a pick to get a bona fide, like, number 2 defenseman to play with Fox or play on the second pair, I think that would be ideal. But again, we're so far from the deadline that I can't say for certain that should be what they do. That's more of a conversation to have later on, but I think that's like the best course of action if they're not getting a draft pick for him. Yeah, Mika not shooting the puck is infuriating, yeah. Will I be down to try Edstrom, Rempe, VC, fourth line once VC is healthy? I think that's what they go with at this point, because I think Rempe's playing himself out of a role, and I think Rempe at this point is going to be the guy down to Hartford when VC comes back. And I think they are going to roll with that fourth line, and then Brodzinski is going to sit in the press box. But I am going to wrap it up here. I've been going for about a half hour now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already. Don't forget to subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next. And I'll see you guys in the next one.